Ladies and gentlemen, presenting you with the next fiery feature match in Deluxe Stage 2. And this is going to be a clash of the titans because two extremely high-octane decks are going to go head-to-head to decide who among them will stand triumphant in their Group D. Now, up in the top corner, bearing the red gloves, ironically, it is the Mistress of the Azure Flames of Purity, Bavsargra, being wielded by Sealfie. Meanwhile, bearing the blue gloves, we have the Dragon of the Four Flames, and sometimes five, being wielded by Michi. It's Drajeweled. And with me as co-commentator, we have the return of Scarlight. How are we doing, sir?
Hello, and thank you for having me back. And audience, you have asked for me back. I don't know if you actually asked for me back, but I am here, and I'm doing great. This is going to be fun.
Good to hear. Both of these decks are going to be some pretty over-the-chain kind of decks here. Both of them having incredible burst turns, high Vanguard pressure, multi-attack out the wazoo. Once these guys start hitting the floor, they're going to be hitting the floor running. Who do you anticipate is going to be the victor in this matchup?
Honestly, both these decks are walking nukes. Once they hit grade 3, it's just going to be very explosive. However, I'm gonna go with Drajeweled on this one, mainly because he defeated Varga. That is my only reason I'm saying Drajeweled at all.
I mean, it's fair. One nuke overcame another nuke, potentially. I'm going to go with Bavsargra here. I think the increased stability of Bavsargra is going to pull it through in the late game here, and I do believe there might be a late game, surprisingly, just because we should never underestimate a deck that has this much value in its corner, as well as all sorts of ways to recur back cards and get other attrition elements in its corner. So I think either way, we're going to bet on either side here. We're going to see who is victorious. Those of you in the audience, place your bets now because we're about to get this going. All right then, fighters, let's do this. Stand up, za, Vanguard. All right, and we're going to be kicking it off with Drajeweled here, who managed to win the coin toss and elected to go first, as is tradition for a grade 4 centric deck.
Honestly, a very good start for him then. Right now, he's going to need that advantage.
Yeah, that is very true, especially against something like Bavsargra. You want to get going earlier rather than later. Although Bavsargra isn't a slouch when going second, it's able to get the maximum value off of its ride line, in addition to immediately being able to get the third drive from Diaba and the restance of Yuka Massage should the seal be able to find it. So you get a lot of different advantage elements from going second. So in a way, both these fighters are in their element at the moment. Okay, discarding the Trick Moon to right. That is an optimal discard for Bavsargra there, because one of the choke points of this deck is being able to find that helpful little critter. They're going to get into the energy generator using the skill of their grade 1. They're going to soul blast the grade 0 in order to add both one sword and one shield, as well as resolving the draw effect first. Makes sense.
They also have to reveal the Bavsargra so that they are playing it, unlike someone. Right.
Yeah, it's quite fair. It's quite interesting too. Even when you can use other cards in the main deck, the one thing that the tournament does bar players from is running a non-archetypal grade 3 in their ride deck. So whenever these things come to reveal, it's not a shock that they'll choose one. Even the Orphis player ended up playing a Orphis grade 3 in their ride deck. They just never rode. So I mean, hey, it's a great workaround there. They're going to go ahead and get Sword and Shield right there. An easy, nice +2 in addition to the draw. And that's not even including any potential attacks for a good drive check here. So Bavsargra building up a lot of card advantage right now. This is what this deck has been known for ever since it first came onto the meta in set 7. Ooh,
oh, and Shenri too.
Good stuff. Oh,
and
also
Cindy
a Cindy
too.
This is aggressive. Okay. Already Bavsargra is proving that it has good early game. Oh, but they're going to be attacking with the bigger column first here. That is quite interesting here. Usually you'd think that they'd swing lower than higher, but maybe they're trying to add a little bit of extra pressure on the Vanguard swing by giving a choice to Michijo depending on how the drive and damage checks go. Okay, so damage check is not a trigger. All right, so Michijo is already going to be on the back foot here. Shenri can move in the soul in order to draw a card. What a fantastic card for this deck. When people always discuss on hitting Bavsargra, there's one of many cards that come to discussion, and two of them are both of these grade 1s right here.
Honestly, yeah. Surprised that Shenri never got hit with Bavs.
Yeah, I was thinking on the Cindy side of things, because Cindy is able to be this constant recursion card, but still, either way, it's quite powerful. All right, there's a no guard. Fire Regardless being able to tutor out pieces right there. You can definitely tell right now that Seal is playing a very optimized, tried and true version of Bavsargra. Playing your strong early game pieces, having the optimal Regardless piece in order to try and get more pieces. Probably anywhere for Restander. We probably won't need to be digging for that Trick Rune very much, considering once and drop. But now we're going to go back over to Drajeweled, who'll be riding over to grade 2. Drajeweld's already 2 damage down and not a lot of cards in hand to show for it, so it's a little behind.
But they did discard the Tizkar, so we'll be able to get a refund on that discard for ride. So, and Jewel Core is able to call itself out to also get some early game pressure back, just like Sealfie did. And a Servant Falcracia as well.
Ooh. Alright, looks like he's going to be giving as good as he takes. That was a good call in the energy cycler there, co-commentator. Okay, yeah, that's great. That's a dry drive. Will it be a dry damage check, though?
However, because Julian did hit the Vanguard, skill does activate, allowing for a soul charge.
Alright, dry damage check. A very nice soul charge over there. Getting that particular Zagon is going to be really nice for later if there's a way to call it from the soul.
That is true. Now, swing for 10 again at the Vanguard with Servant Falcracia.
Big thinking point for... Oh,
hitting
a heal trigger. Now the rush goes to bite him here as he can't recover damage, but it does prevent the other rearguard attacking the Vanguard this turn, although Cindy's going to have to take some lumps. Oh wait, unless, of course, Cindy. He guards for Cindy. Fascinating decision here.
Okay, so Jewel Core can't still hit now because it gains 5k from its own skill, so this is 13 to 8.
Right.
So, this is a very interesting strategy.
Alright, now the Seal's thinking at this moment here. What do you think about that decision there, Scarlight, to try and give a defensive over for the Cindy?
Honestly, I don't know if that was the wisest play because Cindy has the maximum value while being in the drop zone. Because once you go right into grade 3, you can constantly loop it back and forth. So, giving the power to that and letting it survive this turn is a very interesting play. And Melfi has to reap what they sow. They just lost a Persona right from that last attack, too, so...
Yeah, it seems like Drajeweled managed to take the lead very quickly here. It looked bad for them for a moment, but it seems like the Seal wasn't able to ward off a lot of their attacks here. Alright, now they're riding into grade 2, and we're going to see how much of an offense that Seal will be able to pronounce on this following turn. Moving the rear guard to the back row there. Alright, it seems like they're either going to try and play conservatively or telegraph some extra units on this field. Alright, Varpula coming down. Really good filtering right here. If he can see a dress boost ability card, particularly Valnaught, then he's going to be in the race.
Yeah. Right now, Valnaught is at 1, so if he can find that as early as possible, then he will be in a very good position.
100%. Oh, okay, so it seems like they were able to find the hammer instead, which is kind of interesting because it seems that they're filtering out a lot of arms cards right off the bat there.
Ooh, another one. Okay. Another one.
Okay, that is quite nice. It's basically your optimal interceptor at the moment.
That is true. Now let's see if they can actually find their designated target, and they whiff.
That's to be expected.
That is a little unfortunate, but they did manage to shuffle their deck, so maybe they can get some triggers back in the game.
All right, they're going to be attacking on the Vanguard there, going 10. Ooh, once more, a dry damage check. And both of these fighters not seeing very many triggers right now, which might indicate even more explosive plays in the later game. All right, and another no guard. Wow, both of these fighters just sandbagging. Okay, and that's another no trigger. Oh, and a heal trigger, which can get the Twincast Protect back. Oh, that is absolutely massive for Drajeweled.
That is perfect time.
Okay, that defensive also shuts down the rear guard swing, so rear's going to have to go on rear here.
That is true. Now the question is, will Michi choose a protecting like Melfi did? That is the question.
And the answer to that is a resounding no, it looks like. Try to get it into the drop zone without a moment's hesitation. Michi Joe knows what they're doing here. It seems like whatever they threw on that field was willing to either go back to the soul or go into the drop.
Fair. That is very fair. Alright, game is tied at 3 each. About to enter Drajewel's first grade 3 turn. This is where the flight. Ooh!
And now here we go.
Ignis.
Demonic Jewel Dragon of 4 Flames, arise once more. Rystal. Oh, Soul Charge 1, drawing 1. Okay, there's a critical trigger seen on the Soul Charge there, and now they're going to be calling. And of course, being able to reveal a grade 4 from the hand in order to utilize its skill, you can get even more cards than that Soul there. This is very crucial because this indicates immediately that by discarding that Ignis, they were able to now get 4 different grades. So Drajeweled will be able to proc right away. This is usually one of the choke points for Drajeweled in the early games, that they don't have a means of actually getting a grade 3 or greater in the Soul. Then they have a virtually vanilla Vanguard in that regard. So very good reveal there.
Yeah, getting that Soul set up for this turn and potential next turn, and another Nocturzio as well.
Oh, wow. All right, they are burning their CB for as much card advantage and Soul build as possible. It seems they're trying to, like, stock up. Very classic Drajeweled tactics here. They need to weather the storm before they get the grade 4, because in actuality, their deck is so far behind in the early game. But Michiju's been able to min-max this as much as humanly possible right here. He's playing this cool as a cucumber.
True.
Zagon
and
comes
another
on down.
Zagon.
Oh, and if I had to take a guess, yep, that Varpula comes right on down. Varpula is one of the most powerful cards in this particular deck because it doesn't matter. As long as you have a grade 4 in the hand, you'll be able to get that restand ability. So we're looking at 4 cards going to get an attack this turn, one of them being a restanding grade 3 rear. All right, now this is going to be going 21, although he has yet to declare an attack target yet. All right, he's going on the Vanguard there, so that'll be a nice, easy 15k card if he wants to go for it. This is a little bit of a tricky spot for Seal. Normally, this is where you would want to take damage in most deck cases, but against Drajeweled, you don't want to do that because the defensive would just be wasted in this case. So this is unironically the one to guard. Oh, but he doesn't guard. But on the bright side for him, the defensive doesn't come on down here, so there's not too much disappointment. Both of these fighters just taking massive amounts of damage right now. Either their hands are not conducive of guarding, or they are just trying to take a big gambit to deny each other heals.
Really? And here comes the Drajeweled swing, Soul Blasting 4 cards with different grades to lower the opponent's Vanguard's power to 1. And, top of that all, while Varpula activates, since the Vanguard has Soul Blasted 4 cards, it can move itself to the Soul, draw an extra card, and stand into the rear guard. Very powerful card indeed, like you said. This is going to be 13k to 1. So,
the only bright side for Sealfie here is that Maholryu doesn't get its critical effect because he's not at grade 3 yet. Oh, but here comes a PG effect at the moment, so they're going to have to perfect guard this. I guess it's more for safety than anything. Discarding another arm card. Seems like they loaded on that up. Oh, and here comes a critical trigger to try and be aggressive. Okay, that's quite dangerous for the Seal
brutal.
here.
Very brutal right now in this situation. And giving it to the Zagan column as well.
All right, so they're going to mantle the... Oh, and a PG checked as well. This is excellent twin drive for Drajeweled.
Yeah, indeed. And for all those at home, Zagan, the grade 2 behind the critical Nocturzio, has the ability to boost as long as you have a Vanguard with Drajeweled in its card name. So that Nocturzio column is 33k with double critical.
Ooh. Against a 1, that is going to be demanding a boatload of shield value. Oh, but a PG comes on down to help out. Okay.
Ooh. Melfi base has drained their hand almost. That is 4 cards gone.
This is what Drajeweled wants to see. When both of them played very aggressively in the early game, but it seems like the experience here is going to have to go to Michijou in this case. He played this far more excellently.
And last 13k to 1. And Melfi stopped this
demanding 15k shield.
And losing
taking it, and that's another arm card lost. Oh dear. They might not be able to get many arms cards for their actual effect from Halibatra. At the very least, Halibatra doesn't need to dump 2 in order to get an arm from the drop zone. So no matter what, they'll be able to proc this particular skill. And they did discard the shield earlier, so that was definitely the optimal discard.
That is true. Alright. Turn passes over to Melfi. Or Sealfie, I keep mispronouncing the name.
Okay, discarding the Regardless piece, and now arising the Herald of the New Dawn. Chote no Hoenn Bavsargra Aksaya ni Raido.
Maiden of the Azure Flames has descended onto the battlefield.
the meta buster herself. Although in this case, it seems like she's definitely playing a lot of catch-up at the moment. We're going to see if the Seal be able to overcome what Drajeweled throw on the table. This is definitely the scary point for Drajeweled right now. So Drajeweled has to do whatever it can to survive this, but if it can survive this, then it should be in the driver's seat from this point, because once that Ignis comes on down, the Seal's already have 5 damage with only 3 about to be 4 cards in hand. That is scary.
Yeah, that is true.
Alright, he has no arm cards to mill from this skill now, so as a result, he's going to have to simply arm from the drop zone for a card, presumably the shield, as is tradition for the Bavsargra to seek and see patterns.
That is true. Shield would be the best play. Yep, there's the shield.
Right away.
Yeah. And on arm, whenever it's armed, it draws the player a card. So, Melfi's going to be able to rebuild their hand pretty quickly.
Thankfully for Melfi, they do have access to the sword as well. That sword will be able to get him an extra drive check on top of everything else. So Bavsargra can definitely get a lot of card advantage here, but it seems like a brother's in need of a small miracle on those drive checks. Maybe another heal trigger would suffice. Alright, regardless, and drop is going to get procced at this point, removing it from the play.
Ooh, alright, getting another search off.
It's also worth noting that thanks to the skill of Cindy will be able to put itself into the soul in order to add back an arms card from that drop zone there. That's quite nice in this situation in particular, because with the hammer being in circulation at the moment, they'll be able to utilize that hammer right away to block the back row. So we're looking at an entire field wipe here if they utilize hammer. Alright, Sealfie seems to be tapping some up. Whiffed even Fire Regardless? Alright, well, in which case the Fire Regardless is going to have to draw him a card instead. So no call to the field, but maybe the extra card draw is even better now. At the very least, Fire Regardless will always result in a net +1.
That is true. And it seems like Melfi is somewhat struggling, because right now they don't seem to be liking what's in their hand.
Yeah, although thankfully their field already has a pretty strong setup. Okay, now they're going to utilize the Cinti here. It's possible they didn't find any Yukumashad at the moment. Yukumashad is one of the tricky points of this deck, because as a completely unsearchable card, aside from Fire Regals it just whiffed, there's no other way to be able to utilize it effectively here. You have to find it in order to use it at all, right? And there's no way to recur it back either once it dies. So without Yukumashad, your maximum offensive potential gets hamstringed significantly, and not seeing Vylord does as well. So the hits definitely were okay for trying to make sure this deck is a lot more fragile. Alright, so they're going to be arming Axe from the hand. Definitely not what I would have expected from this scenario here. That enables Chote no Hoen's skill to proc at this time, being able to energy charge 1, and then calling a grade 1 or less for the drop zone, likely to be Trick Moon. On the bright side, now with that 10 energy there, and no need to use a Parlez, they'll be able to quite simply Energy Blast 7 to get an additional draw, and still have 3 remaining for any other plays.
That is true.
Yeah, unfortunately here, Cindy isn't able to come back to that field in time, because Cindy's stuck in the soul at the moment. Unless they had another Cindy in there I wasn't thinking about, and it looks like there isn't. That's unfortunate.
That is very EV7. Yep, EV7 to draw 1 more card.
Alright, let's see if they can draw something good here. Alright, so now that they've done the draw, they got 3 energy left, but it seems like there's not a lot more offense. Maybe they can hard call something good here. Okay, now here comes Chote. Clearly Chote's gonna add in a card. Oh, looks like it's the Diabo that they already cycled back through Cindy in order to get the Diabo from the drop zone. Right, armed and ready. Good stuff. Interestingly enough, because of the particular play pattern utilized by Sealfie here, it appears that they're going to be able to get that Zogg and remain on the field. So that's quite nice for them. But the 2 grade 3s are definitely going bye-bye once Bavsargra utilizes their Soul Blast 2 cost. Alright, and there it is. Declaring him. How about that? Yep. Turns out I played the deck a lot.
True, it's true. You have played it a lot. And yes, bye-bye the 2 Nocturzius on the front row. Granted, they did outlive their purpose in this situation. So,
right. I'm going to imagine Michijul has backups.
Oh yeah, 100%. Those 2 are basically already done. So, but yeah, and interestingly enough, like you said, using Axe here in this situation, seems like Melfi's aiming for more of a Vanguard OTK turn, honestly.
Yeah, I think the biggest point behind the axe is that the axe end phase skill allows itself to CB and drop itself to get a shield back. And what's nice about that is that shield, as you mentioned before at the beginning of this turn, shield will draw every time it's armed. So you'll be able to get additional draw. So it seems like they're trying to deal with a more attrition game, which makes sense. Between the drives and this, they're going to try and get as much card advantage in clutch moments as they can. All right, triple drive in effect after buying by the battle door for it. PG. Critical trigger coming on down hot.
That is big.
Yeah, if they could see another critical trigger, they could all put it on one side and try to put Drajeweled in a win-loss condition of either take 3 or take none.
That is true. Drajeweled does kind of need CB to do some of its rearguard skills, so they don't give him anything.
Heal trigger!
Heal
trigger
that is
coming
big.
on down. Absolutely phenomenal time to see that one. Bavsargra stabilizing great with this triple drive. Now let's see what the third one the seal can check is. Can you imagine a Drajeweled in this situation? Because if it comes on down with the axe online,
well, if it's a Drajeweled, then I think Sealfie just drains Michi's hand at this point and wins.
Yeah, just by
and another crit!
Now the seal has a choice. They can either try to put critical on either side to try and push up to 5, but that would give them more damage. Or no, it seems like they're going to center it over on one side there to try and min-max the damage zone that Drajeweled has access to. All right, they're playing it. They're playing it smart here. And now it looks like that Apollo is going to be coming in for 35 with 3 damage there, asking for 25k shield to stop it. Oh, another PG comes on down. Both of these fighters having to utilize some of their most powerful shields right off the bat just to stay in the game state there. All right, discarding 1 card from the hand in order to nullify the attack. And now swing for 25.
All right.
So they are going to try and give another damage here. Unless, of course, the Twincast Protect of the drop zone has something to say about it. Although, if they do that, then it means they didn't need the damage. But it turns out they might need the damage. They take a damage like, unfortunately, that's a Lithosargour. If they have no replacements for that, that's their key multi-attacker in the damage zone, unfortunately. End of turn. Looks like CLP is going to declare Skill of Axe to CB1 and drop it to draw. A very effective comeback play for the skill of Bavsargra in tandem, and they've also got the double interceptor in the front row. What's nice here is that even if they haven't been able to establish a strong back row for powerful plays, they unironically then don't need to worry too much about the effect of Drajeweled Ignis, which wipes out specifically the back row, so they're more or less safe. And of course the shield being an X factor in this case as well. They'll get a draw from shield here, and then once they draw from shield, they'll be able to end their turn on that. A massive, looks like 9-card hand, double intercept, and of course effective shield, and still 1 damage as a safeguard. Ooh.
Sealfie made a big comeback with that move.
100%. What do you think about the game state, Scarlight? Who do you think is going to be able to take it at this stage?
Ooh. Honestly, it's up in the air right now because and here comes Dragon of the 5th Flame.
Here it is. Shinma Horyu, Drajeweled the Ignis, Draido Yon.
Yep. Okay, right now, so Drajeweled does still have a lot of ways to win the game right now. Still have a lot of pieces. Ooh,
all right, they're using skill of Nocturzio in order to dig. Okay, and now they're going to utilize skill of Varpula. Soul Charge 1, terrible Soul Charge, unfortunately, from BG
They are
Jewel.
digging. I think they're trying to dig for a Litho. Yeah, they were digging for a Litho. Oh, they had a Varpula, though. That is kind of a saving grace.
That helps a lot. Oh, we're calling Dr. Oh, now this is interesting. Rystal Galer. Oh, an oldie but a goodie. Looks like we're trying to get a little bit extra field control here. But, oh, you know what? To get into the mind of the player, I think I understand the reasoning here. They were probably anticipating that Yukamashad would have hit the field by this point, and they wanted to snipe it just in case. But unironically, Sealfie bricking in that regard means that Rystal Galer is not as useful as initially intended. We're going to be looking at a total card value of about 6, I'd say, in the hand when you consider the rearguard skills to also get additional draws into soul. That's pretty good. Yeah. All right, so we're going to be starting off hot.
Servant Falcracia's skill on attack allows Mijul to put any Dark States unit into the soul, and she gains 5,000 power for each grade of that unit. And putting a grade 4, that is plus 20k. So that is a big boost. On top of Drajeweled,
53.
Drajewel's own skill giving 15k to the front row. This big turn. It's going to be a big turn.
Okay, damage check is defensive, but it's not going to matter because Drajewel's about to come on in. Unfortunate, but it seems like the seal still needed to take that hit in order to deal with this adequately. Okay, now here comes the Ignis. Soul Blast 5 for the big skill. All right, this is the moment.
Yep. Big Soul Blast 5 that is able to retire back row units, reduce the entire front row's attack power to 0, whilst also giving Drajeweled Ignis himself an extra critical. Very big, very powerful.
Alright, Varpula skill, moving into Soul in order to draw. The other card is going to be able to restand down. Now, the extra power bonus is only until end of battle, but this doesn't matter because with another Ignis in the drop zone, we'll be able to get it back anyway. Okay.
Yep,
now, it seems like we're stuck in a little bit of limbo here. They're still trying to resolve getting the draw here and then also take that out. Okay.
Stop lag, I'm assuming, because this program has been suffering a bit.
Yeah, as of late, it seems like they might be having some update issues, although it's hard to say. Okay, now it looks like they're going to be coming in hot with Ignis for a total of 38 on the Vanguard, with the critical and the triple drive ability. So 38, pretty good here. Not quite magic numbers, given what the deck is customarily capable of, because you generally try to hit even 10k bases against a 0 power. It's kind of like deleter numbers, but this is still plenty fine. So I wonder, we'll see if we'll be able to block this. This is definitely in range of PG or GG, it feels like.
Very much so. They do have a 9-card hand and 2 interceptors, so... And we did see they did drive check A-B previously, so...
As long as they're able to survive this turn by any means necessary, they shouldn't take risk here. Oh, okay, looks like they're going to be able to discard a card in order to perfect guard that attack. The fact that Sealface managed to see 3 PGs in this game is absolutely critical for them. This is the big part of the Ignis bell curve. Okay.
Ooh,
checks 1, no trigger. Checks 2, no trigger. Check 3, no trigger. Ooh, blanks there. But there was a PG. There was a PG for Michi Jeweled there. That could be pretty crucial in this case because that means that they'll be able to survive Bavsargra. So it comes down on what the other swing's going to be like.
That is true. Malfi has yet to use shield, I want to as well, so they still have a 20k shield online.
Alright, skill of Rystal Galer to put a card from hand to soul, and it looks like they opted to put in the Varpula that they saw earlier. Alright.
Interesting.
Okay, so this is for 28, 38 again. This is going to be demanding 40k shield from Sealfie in order to survive this attack. 40k, not that hard. Just 20k for the shield, 5k intercept, and 15 from the hand is probably their best method of guarding this one. Although they could be having some X factors. Nope, alright. Seems just as I'm saying it, they're doing it as well. It seems like we might be vicariously on the same page today here. Alright, so they're opting for shield, soul blasting in order to get the extra bit of power here. And then guarding for 15, and of course that intercept. Perfect, clean 40k guard. And now Falcracia is going on here. Falcracia is going to be putting in, presumably, another Drajeweled Ignis in order to maximize its power gain. There it is. An extra 20,000 power, putting it to 45. 45 means that they're going to need 50k shield total in order to stop this attack. Ooh, 50k is pretty difficult.
Sealfie's asking if it's the second swing.
Wait, if Sealfie's asking if it's the second swing, oh dear. Wait, we know. We know a particular kind of heal trigger that's a 25k shield if a unit has attacked twice or more in a turn. Oh wait, but if it's 50k shield, if they have 2 of them, somehow, then they'd be able. Oh, and they do.
They did have 2. They did have the 2.
What an excellent guard right there. Immediately went here. Catch this. Amazing. All right, now at the end of the turn, because they're on a grade 4, they'll be able to move the Servant to the Soul in order to draw a card. Okay, and now it's back over to Bavsargra. Bavsargra definitely looking a lot better now, but it needs to rebuild back a board, and thankfully with the energy, you'll be able to get a Parlous. But without Yukabashad, it might not be enough to break through this. We're going to find out together.
It all depends on what Melfi draws right now.
All right, let's see what Melfi can do here. Chote no Hoenn is going to enter its turn 4. All right, Chote no Ho and Pasada Dorado. We're going in with our best foot forward, it looks like. Okay.
All right. That's pretty big in this
front row.
Pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
That also allows an extra draw. That also allows an extra draw, too, so...
Now let's see if they can draw something good here. All right. Now, from among the cards in the hand, it seems like we've got 2 mystery cards. Well, no, 2 known cards and 4 mystery cards for Michijul. After all, the Varpula went into the soul already, but that means that the PG and the grade 3 are still known, but everything else could be anything on Michijul's side. Oh, all right. They'll be able to arm right off the bat in order to revive back a card. And with Cindy and Trickmoon both chilling out in there, they'll be able to go for effectively a double superior call, which then can cascade into another double superior call by utilizing both of Aparla's skills in tandem with one another. That is a lot right now.
100%. This is
and lovingly call it the quadruple superior call. Building back a board out of literally nothing. The goddess of recreation and destruction right before us.
Indeed. EC1 call Trickmoon and Sydney, then EP6 to call a double Aparla.
And then of course Sydney comes down as well. Woo! Oh man, this is a lot of advantage. Can Michijul hold off on this?
That is a question. They are holding on to 6, and they do have 1 damage to give, so maybe.
Yeah, and also because of skill of Cindy can go into the soul in order to re-equip the axe again, which means they'll be able to tax another card from the hand.
Oh, right. That's true. They will be able to tax another card. That is brutal.
Oh, and because of the Diabo being equipped, that's going to be 50k total to the front row here. It looks like though they didn't get to see a Yugama shot right here. They're going to opt for that, so there is only going to be 3 attacks. So Chote is going to have to clutch up on this turn. This is a great battle right now. Very close. Very well done to both fighters.
I mean, 3 attacks. I think that's all they need, really. This is a big turn. Hey, Cindy, do me a favor.
Saying, Cindy, do me a favor and catch an axe. Okay. Bavsargra are playing in top condition today right now. Every one of the plays that I've mentioned are exactly what they're doing, so Sylphie's playing this very much by the book. He must have understood this matchup quite a lot.
Indeed. They have not seen a Yugama shot or a Firelord yet, so, but they are able to make do with what they were given, which is pretty big.
All right. All right, and they're making sure to resolve a countercharge 1 off a Trickmoon, potentially useful in a later game, although who knows if we're even going to get to a later game by this point. It really just depends on what the drives and damages are. All right, so now the Seal has the ability to hard arm.
Yep, hard arming axe. Talk to me, right? But yeah. Hard arming axe, this brings the battle door back online. Michijul is going to have to give up a good chunk of their hand in order to survive this turn then.
Alright, and now Chote has the ability to Soul Blast too. Ooh, calling down double cards, that's insane! And then because of the Soul Blast to wipe out front row, they'll be able to get a critical with this. Oh yes, and if that wasn't bad enough for Michijul here, even though they have 2 rear guards in effect, because a normal order was played in the form of Axe's turn, Shenron will be able to activate its skill regardless. Okay, this was very calculated.
Very big numbers now. Very big columns.
Time for war, it looks like. Sylphie is feeling very inflamed right now. The passion is palpable. They may not have a voice right now, but they certainly feel like it. They've got an extra 20,000 power from Dress Boost going to Bavsargra. In addition, that's going to be a Battle Door and a 3rd drive on Bavsargra. So in total, Bavsargra swing for 53,000, 2 critical, 3 drives, and Battle Door.
Wait, they're hard guarding this.
They're hard guarding this? Oh, that is absolutely insane for them at the moment. Uh-oh, wait, okay. Oh boy.
Okay. And
let's see. So they've got an extra 30-50. Oh, Twincast protects from the drop zone coming in hot now. Okay.
All right. 78k total.
78. That's a 3 to pass at the moment.
That is. Which leaves a. Ooh, Melfi has been paying attention.
Okay.
Melfi knows what's in their hand.
Triple drive. First check is a blank.
Okay. Alright.
Second check is a blank. This won't be breaking unless there's an OT. Third and final check. Oh, but that's a critical trigger right there.
Pitiful.
Okay.
Alright. That is a critical. However, not going to be enough, I don't think. Yeah.
No, being able to hard guard like that without having to use, they were able to completely bypass the threatening detriment of that battle door right there. And the drives are a little dry this time around for Sealfie, so they might be in a corner right now. Okay, there's still 2 attacks to go, and one of them being with an extra critical. Oh, they're attacking with a non-critical first. A very odd choice on their part. Michijul happily accepting this. But no damage that will help in this case. It looks like it's going to have to come down to that PG to save the day once more.
Yep.
All right, they're going to Kanzengardo, discarding 1. By the skin of their teeth, they managed to live through the turn. Okay, 1 card left, about to be 2 on the draw. And of course, Shenri moving into the soul in order to get a draw here.
Yep.
Okay, so that means that there's, and of course, there's going to be another draw from re-equipping the shield from the drop zone off of Axe. So Bavsargra will be able to at least see some cards here, but the raw power that Michijul has at their disposal, will it be enough?
That is a good question. Right now, they need to stop potentially 3 to 4 big attacks.
This is insanely good game right now. Both of them giving it their all. I mean, I've seen virtually no bad plays from either side.
Neither, honestly. This is so engrossed right now. This is tame.
So tight. This is Vanguard. This is 100% Vanguard. All right, Diaba going to the drop 2 at the end of the turn, and now one last time, Ignis has one last shot to try and break through the goddess's hand. It may come down to the heart of the cards. What will they draw? Oh, the 5 colors will burn over the holy flames, he declares. He draws.
Energy charging up to 9 now.
Oh, and here comes the one and the only Lithosargour. Energy blasting 3 to get a draw. Oh, Bifrons 2 using a CB in order to try and look at the top 3. He's getting some extra advantage on the double here. All right, putting 1 in the soul, getting 1 in the hand. What has he got in the drop zone? Okay, so he ended up having to dump a front trigger to make that happen. So we don't know what was in the hand there. Zagon gets called at this point, which called Varpula back. All right, what do they soul charge, though, from this skill? Let's see. It seems like they don't want to soul charge at all, so they're not going to opt for it. So it looks like they still got 5 attacks, though. 5 attacks here? That is absolutely insane. Okay, beginning of the battle phase. Drajeweled Ignis is going to go right in for it. Sealfie is in trouble now. They need to try and find a way to navigate past this offense with all of their might.
Great, but with the 15k to the front row due to Ignis, this might do it.
Yeah, they've also ran out of most of their PGs at this point. This is insane.
Yeah,
all right,
swinging with the Litho first.
45,000 on the Vanguard. This is going to be demanding 35 shield from them in order to stop it. Given that the attacks only get more devastating with time, these are definitely the ones to guard, and it seems like they're already on that note, so they're going to be using the shield for an extra 20,000 power, demanding only 15k more to get through it. But what else will they use? Alright, they use a critical trigger from the hand, and that blocks the attack going up to 48. But they've got another rear guard incoming here. Being able to get 5 attacks in this situation, that is unbelievably clutch here. Drajeweled is responding to Michijul's feelings right now.
Very true. Very true right now. This is devastating.
33, asking 25 shield. Okay. And with shield already used up on Sealfie's side, they're going to need to find some other way to make up for that quantity.
Of all the times now, a magic number. Yep.
Oh, okay. They're throwing down a front trigger, it looks like, in addition to an intercept to stop this attack. Very well played. All right. Now there's 5 cards in hand and 1 intercept, and yet Drajeweled's got 3 attacks, including the Vanguard itself. What are we going to do here? And this one's got a critical effect as well. This could be it.
If Melfi does survive, their entire back row and hand will be drained after the turn regardless. This is...
All right, let's see it. Varpula is going to be able to get a draw at this point, and now here comes CB1 in order for Lithosargour in order to get a restand as well. Double restanding front row. Let's see, and we've also seen 3 heal triggers out, which means there's only a grand maximum total of 1 heal and 1 over trigger in their deck. Now this is a swing for 38 with 2 criticals on the Vanguard. It's got 3 drives as well.
Yeah.
Will he be able to stop this attack? Let's see. 40k is a 1 to pass. 50k is a 2 to pass. This is definitely 1 to guard by any means necessary. Doesn't matter what it takes. Sealfie's got to try and stop this one and hope there's no criticals to back it up on the other columns. Okay, they're beginning to throw down their guards. There's no PG scene. We'd imagine that Elementaria would have been in this matchup, but it seems like they didn't see it at this point. Okay, they're throwing down 30 so far.
35.
They need to keep counting. 35 so far. Intercepting. Okay, so far that's a 1 to pass. A 1 to pass is okay, but they may need to make it a 2 to be safe. Are they debating 1 to passing though?
Given that they are only at 2 cards in hand. Ooh, they have to.
Oh, they're throwing down. Okay, they're throwing down another 5k there. Does that mean the last card in their hand? Okay, it's only another 5k though, so it's 2 to pass. They are throwing everything on the table to try and stop this massive swing from Drajeweled Ignis. Oh, and the first trick is a critical trigger. Oh, that just might do it.
That's brutal. Yeah.
He's giving the critical effect over to Lithosargour. The power goes to Zagon. All right, second check, no trigger. Third check, he would have been able to break through had he put it on Ignis. But regardless, that's still going to be 2 damage when he uses skilled Lithos. That means there's only 1 chance for Sealfie to be able to survive this astronomically strong turn, and that's to hit heal and over trigger right here, right now. But the odds of that, he's taking 2 consecutive 1 in 15 and 1 in 14 chances with that one. We're going to see. He no guards, and now the damage check to decide it all. And that's a no trigger. A very strong game from both sides, but Drajeweled being able to play around Bavsargra, hold down the 4 and immediately destroy it on the 5th turn, using the powerful skill of Ignis to break through whatever guards that Bavsargra had. Both of these players played so well, though. This is a phenomenal game. What'd you think about the match, Scarlight?
It was intense. Both these players did explosive turns. It was constantly back and forth. Like at one point we saw Sealfie almost clutch it out with that double battle door, and then we have Michijewel who clawed his way back from basically nothing with Lithosargour and Varpula. That is amazing.
Yeah, Michijewel played this so calm. We've seen it throughout this entire tournament here that he is very rarely daunted by anything in his plays. No matter how high or low the ceiling that he has to deal with, he just plays it 1 step at a time, having complete absolute faith in his avatar, Drajeweled, and it worked out once again. This is such an impressive fight right here, definitely worthy of the stage of Deluxe. And with that, we're going to call it a match. Thank you to both fighters for participating in this match here. You played excellently, gentlemen. And to those of you in the audience out there, if you're feasting for more content like this, then definitely subscribe and turn on the handy dandy notification bell, because we got more Deluxe matches like these coming in the future. But if you're thinking you want some other Vanguard content in your life, then look no further. We do all sorts here. We've got top 10s, discussions, fight nights, custom card reviews, and anime reactions, and even more than that. So check it all out. And with that said, take care and God bless y'all.